or rather, what are the primary needs of your life? Because you strike me as someone who meets his needs. You're a happy, positive person. Just like anybody, I'm sure that it's not like that every minute of every day.
Right.
And, if it was, then something's wrong.
Yeah.
But for you, it's like, what are your basic needs? How are they maybe different from other people, and how do you meet them?
Right. I think my basic needs, especially moving up here, becoming aware and mindful of what we are as a human being, as an animal.
Mm-hmm.
I value what I put into my body, the food that I put into my body, the music that I put into my ears, the conversation and the energy of the people that are, and the intention of the people around me that I put into my life. I think I have to be aware that is a huge necessity, is of that foundational level, is that food.
Yeah.
Across any level.
Right. Yes. Oh, yeah. Okay. I love
Food
this.
that you put into your body.
Amazing.
Right?
Yes.
And I think beyond that, like, it really doesn't matter. Like, the things that, obviously it means a lot to me to have a piano to be able to express myself, but I sing as well.
Right.
And I can collaborate with other singers, and we can create chords and stuff, and that's a blessing.
Yeah.
So being able to sing is a huge necessity. Being able to have a voice, being able to collaborate with people on an emotional, intellectual, even political level sometimes. We need to be aware of this stuff. We have to start speaking up. We have bright, brilliant friends with incredible opinions and solutions to these problems, but what they don't have is the boldness and the courage to speak up. Or the voice, or the face, or the talent, but they have some great ideas. We need to be encouraging each other to get that out, and I think that is a huge necessity of my life, to be able to collaborate with people and communicate and talk and conversate or converse, which I've learned are both words.
Conversate's
My
a word
girlfriend
too.
was giving me some crap about conversate not being a word.
But is it also a word?
It is a word. It is a word. But I sort of see we can't get on that. Anyway, conversate.
Well, we can though. This is long form. Tell me about conversate. Let's go there.
I feel conversating. I feel like conversating is between two people, or an intimate group, or of an intimate topic. When you conversate, you're taking the time. When you converse, I'm like, oh, you're just conversing amongst yourself. Mingle.
Right.
Go converse for a little bit. Y'all talk about shit that doesn't matter.
Yeah,
talk about anything. Talk about stuff that does matter.
Yeah.
So I think converse is a bigger umbrella, and then conversate is a more in depth, like intentional.
Definitely.
Intimate.
So we're gonna
How
take
I
that.
use it.
We're gonna take that digression, and we're gonna get even deeper, because what you've just demonstrated is that what's important for you is that you draw that distinction. You, Tyler Long of Windowcat, plug, new album coming out.
New Year's Eve at Ellington Underground with the broadcast.
Oh, dang, that's going to be at Ellington Underground?
Yeah.
You know Andrew who runs that place?
We've talked on email and stuff.
Man, I'm going
haven't
to
met him yet.
Oh, wait, that's New Year's Eve. Oh, we're going to be into it. Well, anyway, so there we will digress later. But anyway, you have a distinction between there is kind of idle talk and then there is intentional talk.
Yeah.
So for you, how do you find those intentional moments? And maybe it's, conversating this way, maybe it's conversating this way, but how do you find that intentional space?
I think you can go into a certain situation with an intention and it not be received,
Mm-hmm.
or you can go into a situation and the intention be brought into the situation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's a give
We're
or take.
confronted with intentional situations,
Right.
A lot. Well, more and more the more we seek them out. You're talking about the law of attraction, absolutely.
And I try to be quite intentional with what I do and mindful. Even like walking up to the store or getting in somebody's way or opening the door for somebody or stepping over to the left side of the sidewalk when I know that somebody is coming behind me. I hear them. It's like, let me get out of your way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing my thing. You're doing your thing.
Right.
But I try to always be intentional and mindful about what I'm doing. But sometimes, like, there's going to be a vibe or an element that's going to be thrown into the mix that you can't predict.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And you have to be improvisational.
Yeah.
And you have to be quick and you have to be witty. That's another part of being an artist or being a musician, is taking the moment.
I like that.
And being able to handle it.
Perfect. Can you take me into a moment of intention that you remember, maybe from Windowcat, maybe a moment on stage or at practice, but maybe from elsewhere in your life, if something else comes to mind? Can you take me to an intentional moment like that?
where I was trying to like deliver like a big message. What do you mean?
Where either you came, well, just like you said, either where you brought intention to a space and filled a space with intention where it wasn't there,
Okay.
or where you
Yeah.
found yourself all of a sudden in a moment where you're like, wow, you know, this
Got
has
you.
significance beyond what I imagined.
Got you. I think a good example is just like recently, a couple weeks ago, we played at the AC Hotel.
Okay.
It just got opened up.
Yeah, yep.
And we got hired as a jazz trio.
Mm-hmm.
So we learned some jazz standards, you know, and I know some jazz standards, but I had to learn them more so on the piano to be able to sing and comp myself.
Oh, right.
So, but we also play this funky, like R&B, neo soul. It's jazz infused. So I think we went in there with the intention of bringing these people out. We wanted to play the funk.
Yeah,
we wanted to bring the funk. We wanted to make the people dance because that's what we like to do.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what
your
feels the
vibe.
best.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we came in and we just started easing it in there.
I love,
You know, I'd give them a little different rhythm.
Right,
and Max
right.
would give them the disco beat. Max plays drums in that trio and keyboards in WindowCat. But we sort of just like gave them a taste, and that intention turned into theirs as well. They got reciprocal.
I love moments like that. That's beautiful.
You see the eye contact. You see people passing and walking a little slower and looking back. You see people sort of turn their chair towards you. You know, and you have to create that moment, and you have to read that intention. If we weren't getting that, we'd go back into the sultry, you know, jazz stuff. That's that's fine. That's cool. But at the end of the night, the managers were like, "Yo, that was great. We got to have you back." I was like, you know, we appreciate it. We just to let you know, we knew that we were hired for a jazz trio, but we
right.
I was like, we read the crowd.
Right. Yeah.
We vibed the crowd out, and they said that they wanted more. So
perfect.
We gave it to them.
Nice.
You know,
I love that.
So you can't always, but you can try, and that was a successful moment. But you know, you come in there with intention sometimes, and people just aren't feeling it. We've played some venues. You know, this is before I moved up here. I had like a blues, soul, rock and roll. We did a lot of Gary Clark Jr. and Jack White and you know, stuff of that nature. But we wrote our original stuff too, and we got hired to play at this like super honky tonk dive bar. I literally got us a gig going to buy some music or some speaker stands.
So
I had to go to their ATM to get some money. I was like, by the way, do y'all have music on Friday nights? She was like, yeah, what day do you want? So we went in there with great intention. We're like, all right, we're going to deliver the hit. They're going to love our shit, you know? And God, they were telling us to turn down, asking us if we knew Freebird.
Oh, no.
It's like, you had to play the gig and do as best as you can to give them what you want, be respectful, but also at the same time, keep your dignity. Remain, you know, to be yourself while you're playing.
Right. So there you're being confronted with a different intention and having to reconcile that and accept that other intention.
You have
is
to,
valid.
otherwise we weren't going to get paid.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and
I
all
love
that work that we played, and you know, it was a very tight space that we had to be in. So all that would have been in vain. But you know, it's just about being moldable or being flexible. Yeah. You know, being malleable to the moment and being present, being there. That's what I love about music too. You have no choice but to be in that moment. Right. Yeah, I love that. And invite other people to be in that moment too. Cool. You know? Awesome. Well, good. Okay, so that takes me to another place. So for you, you've got a very specific idea of the feeling that you're trying to get to. You've got a specific idea of how you're trying to mold yourself and how you're trying to make yourself available to the world. And I'm sure that has refined itself over the course of, we'll say, for instance, just your time at UNCA. Right. So what advice or words of encouragement, or maybe just words of consolation, can you give to freshmen coming in to either the tech program or the performance program or whatever, who maybe either have some kind of maybe unhealthy, potentially preconceived notions about what it means to be a musician and what they're aiming at, and like, because that was something I found, is that it refined itself over and it became less scary and to refine itself. Yeah, exactly. And it's, you know, every day it's less huge and it's less out there, and it's more like, okay, well, I kind of can see the next step now. And I feel like, you know, when I was 18, there was no next step. It was like we said, it was like, I'm grabbing every single gig, I'm getting in every single place I can. It's just like as much as I can. As you could, yeah. So I mean, what advice can you give to freshmen coming in to start to refine that and get in touch with that early? Yeah, I think that what we were talking about earlier is like slowing down and being patient and honoring the muse, which is the process. Yeah. Honor the process of it all. Allow yourself to just get immersed in it. Mess up. Learn the ins and outs. Go down that rabbit hole. Learn more. Go do the external readings that your professor gave you to do.
Yes. Oh, man. Yeah.
You know, do supplementing of YouTube videos or gear tech magazines, or actually going out busking and messing up. And, you know, like, and don't be afraid to like mess up, and don't be afraid. Be realistic with yourself. You know, we're human beings. We're born to make mistakes.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, you know, we're all trying to refine ourselves. We're that raw, you know, we're that raw element that we're trying to polish into that sweet, perfectly spherical little orb, you know, of existence, of that spirit. That's what we are. But it's a never-ending process, and to be able to understand, be realistic with yourself in that moment, but be hungry and know your next step, or at least know that you have a next step. There has to be a next step. You know, appreciate where you came from, but, you know, hope for that next spot. You have to be, it's like, okay, well, next week, this is what I'm gonna, and I have to put myself on an agenda, dude, or I won't do it.
Oh, yeah.
Practice my whole tone scales this week, or, you know, practice your modes. Do this. You have to really write that stuff down, because it gets intricate where you want to spend your practice time.
Definitely. Well, hey, I want to divert big time there. I want to talk about, you've got some kind of written down notes that dictate your daily routine around practice, and I'm sure around other stuff. I'm sure that probably necessitates, to an extent, scheduling other stuff around your day.
Oh, yeah.
How does that work for you? Because I really want to know the nuts and bolts of how you put together, like, do you have a notebook or something you could physically pull out right now?
Yeah, I have my planner. Where's my planner?
Yes. Oh, let's get in the planner.
So what's today?
Yes.
Today's Tuesday. Meet with Wilson at 2 p.m.
Yes.
Physics project I have to complete.
Nice.
I have here practice songs for Friday.
Yeah.
Rehearse with Ted and Sean at 5:45, which is going to happen. I have to write myself these reminders, like go to Greensboro on Thursday. I have to remind myself, my girlfriend is doing a performance at school for one of her final presentations.
You said she's a dancer?
She's a communications major, and this is a displaying patriotism class. Okay. So they actually have written a play, like the whole class.
Huh.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. We're going to go out for drinks later. It's all about that.
Yeah.
I just want to be able to support her. So I forget some of this stuff, and I have a little daily routine here as well, that I have my class schedule, when I need to run, do yoga, practice.
Oh my dude,
it's more so
this is what this whole interview is about now. So can you untape that? Is like is it gonna mess up your thing if you untape that and put it in front of the camera right now?
Not at all.
Oh my god, this is the absolute gold.
This is the and this is just the fall.
Oh, this is it. I'm gonna show you mine
this
too.
Is my idol. This is my ideal schedule right here. This is the ideal schedule.
Rip that up.
And this thing, this one is almost unachievable. But that's what I'm saying. Like, admit to the universe what you want, put it all out there, and then come back and be realistic.
Yes. Exactly. Yes. Put it out in the universe first.
You have to,
amazing.
like, and then figure out. It's like what Steve Jobs said, right? He's like, imagine what you want to do, dream about what you want to make and invent, and then come back into reality and think about the tools that you have to make that come into existence. You have to go out before you come in.
Yes. Oh, good. I'm glad. This actually